Hi babes, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to be talking about the 7 signs that a woman is in her feminine energy. If you're new here, I'm Alexis Alize and I am your big sister and everything beauty, wellness, feminine energy, and just becoming your best self. So if you're into beauty, into wellness, or any type of personal growth, if you're into manifesting your best life possible, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Okay, so let's jump right into it. There's a difference from a woman who is just looking very feminine to a woman who is actually giving off feminine energy, from a woman who is truly in her divine feminine energy. And I want to emphasize divine because you can also be in your wounded feminine energy as well. I love me some tea. I have some green tea and some peppermint tea in here. So delicious. So the number 1 sign that you can tell that a woman is in her feminine energy is that she keeps herself together. She actually cares about her looks. And this doesn't have to be in a vain way. Your looks matter. You want to show up as your best self because that's going to teach other people how to show up for you as well. So a woman who is truly in her divine energy, it doesn't matter if she's going to the grocery store, if she's going to the airport, if she's just running errands, she's always going to have her hair nice and neat. Her skin is going to be looking good. She might decide to put on makeup. And she's also going to be very intentional about what she is wearing. And it's not so much about a girl who wears a dress versus a woman who wears jeans. It's not about that at all. It's about just showing up as your higher self and whatever makes you feel your best. Because when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. That's why if you ever notice when you are lounging around the house and your hair isn't done and you haven't gotten dressed, you still have on the sweatpants from 2 days ago, you feel unmotivated. You feel like you don't really want to do the things that you have to do. And that's because your feelings are becoming a reflection of how you are showing up for yourself. One of my favorite sayings, you guys have probably heard me say this a couple times on this channel, but I love this saying. It gave me a new aspect on how I show up for myself. And that saying is, dress how you want to be addressed. That right there changed my life. That phrase alone is what took me from my IG baddie era to my grown woman era instantly, because I already knew exactly how I wanted to be addressed. I wanted people to take me serious. I wanted people to respect me, and I wanted people to show up for me. And how can I expect more from other people without first expecting more from myself? In order to do that, I had to start showing up better for myself. I had to start doing my hair every morning, putting attention into my skincare and into my wardrobe. Trust me, looks matter. And it's not about the price tag. It's not about buying super expensive clothes. You can buy nice clothing on a budget and still look very much put together. You can do your own hair. You can find YouTube videos for skincare, for makeup, for hair care. Just put some intention in your looks. Level up your looks this year and watch it change your life. The second sign of a woman who is radiating in her divine feminine energy is she is open. She is receptive. And the number 1 sign to this is a woman who smiles a lot. I used to always get compliments. Oh my gosh, you smile so much. Or do you always smile all the time? And that's because no matter what life was throwing at me, I tried to always radiate joy from within. And also I wanted people to feel welcoming around me. And I was doing this before I even knew the impact that it had on me. A lot of women have this resting face that's not inviting. People aren't gonna wanna come up and talk to you when you're not smiling. And you can be missing out on a lot of opportunities just by not being open and inviting with your body language. So definitely try to smile more, but this goes beyond that. Being open and being receptive goes beyond that. Being a woman in her feminine energy, you have to be receptive. And I'm talking about over the smallest things, because if you can't receive small things, then how do you expect to receive the big things that you truly desire in life? You have to be able to be open to receive a compliment. You have to be open to receiving help, even when it's uncomfortable to ask. You have to be open and comfortable with people giving you things, whether that's giving you help, giving you gifts, pouring into you in any type of way without you automatically feeling like, no, I can do it myself. No, I don't need this. No, I got it. If you are instantly having that resistance when somebody is trying to give you something, even a compliment, if somebody's trying to say, oh, I love your hair, and you're like, oh, this whole thing, you aren't able to receive and just receive without feeling like that you need to give somebody something back or that you need to do it yourself, that is an unhealed trauma of yours that you need to heal. Because again, if you can't receive small things like a compliment or help when you need it, how do you expect to receive that $7,000 designer bag that you might want? How can you expect to receive that big job opportunity that you have been dying for? How can you expect to receive all the blessings that God has for you if you aren't open to receive the small things? And almost everything on this list I had to work towards. Yes, I was good at inviting people in because I have a huge smile. I'm always smiling, but I was in my masculine energy for a long time and I felt like I needed to do everything. I was always Miss Independent and I always had to prove myself. And honestly, that's what was truly holding me back in life. That's what was truly blocking my blessings. Women were put on this earth to receive. That is our God-given birthright. So a woman who can receive big or small, no matter what it is, baby girl, she is thriving in her feminine energy. Number 3 is a woman who is confident. Confidence comes from within, no matter your shape, size, color, background, whatever it is. And I know that we all have insecurities, but we have to love ourselves fully because that's going to be reflected back to us day in and day out. If we think that we aren't good enough, other people aren't going to think that we aren't good enough. If we think that we're not deserving, the world is going to think that we are not deserving. It all starts with how we think about ourselves. I used to be so embarrassed of my past. I used to be so insecure about my weight. But my true breakthrough when it came to being in my feminine energy was overcoming those insecurities. There's nothing that you can tell me about my past that I'm embarrassed about anymore because that's who I was and that made me who I am today. Every experience, everything that I went through was the path to lead me exactly where I am today. And then even with my body, I learned to love my body even when it was heavier than what it is now. And even though now I still want to lose a couple more pounds, but I still love my body exactly how it is. This body has carried me through life. This body gave birth to my son. This body is so strong, so beautiful, and doing the best it can to keep me alive. And I'm gonna love on every single part of it. And most of the times, the things that we're insecure about, people don't even see that as an insecurity. Most of the time, it's in our head. We're so much in our head that we don't even see the things that we're great about or the things that make us beautiful inside and out. And I know when it comes to confidence, it's easier to say than actually be. But the trick to being confident is be so delusional. I'm talking about every single day to you actually start to believe it. When I wasn't the woman that I was today, I used to act like I was. I used to show up as her anyway. When I didn't have the body of my dreams, I still told myself, girl, you look good. You are perfect just the way you are. And if anybody says anything about you, honestly, they're just reflecting about themselves because you are perfect, Miss Girl. I told myself those affirmations. I made sure that I was always giving myself positive self-talk to where it was so embedded in my head. It started to become a part of my identity. Now I'm showing up as the baddest woman in the room. Now I'm already confident that whatever I want, I'm already deserving of. I'm expecting people to give me what I want because I'm confident that I deserve it. Because why not? Who said I wasn't? And that mindset alone is a game changer. That's why it doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like. When a woman who is in her feminine energy walks in a room, all eyes go to her. She lights up the room because she is radiating with confidence. She is radiating that feminine energy and people are like hooked on her. They can't take their eyes off of her. And it's not because of exactly what she looks like. It's because the confidence in her energy is speaking before she even says a word. And number 4 is a tough one. Well, at least for me, it was having emotional intelligence. As women, we are emotional creatures, and that can be such a beautiful thing if we are emotionally intelligent, which means that you know how to express your feelings in a healthy way when somebody crosses your boundaries, or you know how to even set up boundaries in a healthy way without yelling, without reacting in your wounded feminine energy. There is a way to express your emotions with family, with friends, with lovers, with anybody, without yelling or feeling like that you need to get out of character, or without being confrontational in general. You being so self-aware that one, you understand your triggers, but you also understand how to respond when somebody triggers you. That's emotional intelligence right there. Learning how to respect yourself and set an example for other people to respect you is emotional intelligence. Learning how to set healthy boundaries is emotional intelligence. And even dealing with conflict, again, whether that is with your lover, with friends, or with family. A woman who knows how to conduct herself in all situations, even in conflict, is a woman who radiates feminine energy. She knows where to put her energy, how to use her feminine energy to get what she wants. And that's not in a vain way, but let's say I'm having an argument with my man because I want him to do this, but he doesn't see why he should do that. Me being the emotional creature that I am going to express my emotions to him in a healthy manner and use my emotional intelligence to show him why it is important to me that he does whatever it is that I want him to do. And just by me communicating with my emotions in a healthy way is the difference of him actually seeing my point, understanding me, and doing whatever it is that I just asked him, versus him going back and forth with me arguing about he's never doing this, I need more help with this, why do I gotta keep asking, and me continue to waste my energy going back and forth with him. And this is the same for friends, family, even at work. Being an emotional intelligent woman is truly where the feminine power exists. Number 5, for signs of a woman in her feminine energy, a woman who is somehow expressing herself creatively, whatever that may be. I'm talking about painting, I'm talking about as a hobby, as a career, as a business, finding ways to keep that creative spark alive. Women were meant to create. That's why we create life. We truly thrive in our feminine energy when we are creating. That is why it is so important to have a creative outlet no matter what you do in life as a woman. I'm not saying every woman needs to be a business owner. Even if she has a great career, she still needs to find ways to be creative in her career, or even find ways to be creative in her hobbies. That keeps that feminine energy alive and keeps it flowing. Especially in today's time when everybody is being a creator, is being an influencer. I get so many questions and other creators in my DMs. Oh my gosh, you are never burnt out. You are literally dropping videos every day and you show up consistently. How do you do it? And my answer is always, I'm truly just in my feminine energy. And when you are in your feminine energy, those creative ideas are going to keep coming to you. That intuition, those downloads from God is going to keep coming to you. So I am constantly creating. God put me here, well, not just me, but all of us. God put us here to be creators. So I try to make sure that I am creating more than I am reacting. When you are reacting to a situation, you are not being a creator. When you are reacting to life, you're not being a creator. So I try to make sure that I am creating more than I am reacting. And that's with every aspect in life, in your work life, but also in your personal life. Don't focus on the problem. Create a solution. I promise you, Miss Girl, if you are having any creative blocks, it's because you're not fully in your feminine energy. When you are thriving in your feminine energy, those creative juices are going to flow, but you have to be in your feminine energy. If you're too much in your masculine energy, those creative juices aren't going to flow because you are pushing and trying and pushing too much instead of letting it come to you, instead of letting the ideas come to you. So always make sure to find ways to stay in that creative flow. And when you are in that creative flow, you'll be able to recognize more opportunities. You'll be able to create solutions to obstacles, to problems that arise when you are already in that feminine energy. That's why a woman who's in that feminine energy, nothing pretty much gets in her way or bothers her, because she's thriving so much in her feminine energy that when an obstacle or a problem comes, she's gonna find a solution. She's not gonna be focused on the problem. She's gonna be focused on creating a solution. If you truly want to dive more into inner work, especially your feminine energy, and understand what it truly means to be a woman in her feminine energy and how to change your identity and jump into your feminine energy, even if you didn't grow up knowing much about feminine energy, if you didn't grow up knowing any of this and now you want to get into it, I would definitely recommend checking out my Rich and Feminine Energy Master Academy, where I teach you what it truly means to be a woman in her feminine energy and how to completely change your identity to start showing up as the most softest, most feminine, most abundant version of yourself. I left the link to that in the description, but let's keep going. The 6 signs to telling when a woman is truly in her feminine energy is a woman who is relaxed. I feel like I struggled a lot with this as well. I mean, I told you guys, I felt like I kind of struggled with all of them, but a woman who is relaxed is pretty much a woman who isn't in a rush, a woman who slows down. I always felt like I need to hustle, get here, get there, do this, especially as a mother and a single mother at that. And then I was trying to run a business, or even before the business, when I was working, I had to do this. I was always rushing. And I'm talking about even in the smallest movements. I'm rushing to brush my teeth. I'm rushing in the morning to put on clothes. I'm just rushing in general. I remember I was getting dressed one day and a guy that I was dating, it was years ago, and I wasn't even in a rush to go anywhere, but I was getting dressed and he was just watching me, he was admiring me. But then he was like, why are you getting dressed so quickly? Why are you rushing to put your clothes on? Are you going somewhere? And I wasn't, but I was just like, oh. And in that moment, I just like slowed down. And then fast forward to me going through my feminine energy journey and realizing that I was in survival mode. People who rush a lot or make fast movements, they're in survival mode. And I knew that I've always been a hustler. I used to take pride in that. But then when I went through my inner work and my healing journey, I realized that I was actually in survival mode and my body was addicted to stress. Girl, it goes deep. This is like some psychology stuff. Like, people who rush are in survival mode, so they feel like they need to do everything super fast. They feel like they need to hurry up and get it done. They feel like they can't depend on nobody to get it done if they don't get it done. And I just had to heal myself from all of that. Sometimes I might catch myself rushing, and I will catch myself at the moment and be like, Alexis, slow down, relax. I used to even walk really, really fast. Take your time. Why are you walking so fast? Why are you rushing? And it's so crazy because now that I've actually became self-aware and mindful of those movements, now when I catch myself slowing down, oh my gosh, it's like peace. It's like a beautiful energy that just comes over my body and I become so relaxed. And with me being relaxed, guys, I'm able to think clearer. I'm able to actually think about what I want to do, the right decision. I'm able to get those intuitions, get those downloads from God, because sometimes you can't hear the right thing to do if there's so much chaos going around. If you're moving too fast like some squirrel, like, you have to slow down, Miss Girl. When your nervous system is regulated and your body is relaxed, you're able to think clearer and make the right decision, because now you are making a decision off of intuition, off of that gut feeling, rather than making a decision off of anxiety. That's what you don't want to do. You don't want to move through life making decisions off of anxiety. Sometimes you think that you need to do more or move faster, when a lot of the times you just need to slow down and become more relaxed. And when you're on your feminine energy journey, sometimes this will happen even subconsciously. You'll notice that as you become a more feminine woman, as you become the highest version of yourself, you slow down when you talk. You don't walk as fast. You slow down in life. You take your time. That's because you are moving out of survival mode and your body is beginning to feel safe. And your body is beginning to trust that you are doing the right thing at the right time, in the right moment. So number 7 is a woman who trusts herself. A woman who is truly in her feminine energy has done the inner work, and she is so in tune with herself, and she is so in tune with God and the universe. So she doesn't look for outside sources to make a decision for her. She isn't asking her friends, her family, oh my gosh, should I do this? Should I make this career switch? Do you think he loves me? Should I marry this man? She isn't doing any of that. She is trusting her intuition. She is trusting what her gut is telling her to do. And there's nothing wrong with asking your friends and family for their opinion. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But a woman who is in her feminine energy, she isn't making her life decisions based on other people's opinions. She is making her decisions based on her intuition because she trusts herself. She trusts that she has all the answers within her. She takes other people's opinions with a grain of salt, but then at the end of the day, she makes her decisions based on how she truly feels from her experiences and what she thinks is best. And this kind of goes back to being relaxed, because when your nervous system is regulated, that is when you feel your intuition more. And when you are relaxed and making a decision from a calm state, that is how you know that you are making a decision from your intuition versus making a decision from anxiety, from stress, from worry, from scarcity, from fear. So you have to relax, Miss Girl, and trust yourself. You have to trust that everything is going to work out in your favor. And honestly, all of these signs kind of tie into each other, because a woman who trusts herself is a woman who is relaxed, who is in tune with her intuition. So because she trusts herself so much more, this is also going to make her more confident. So it all just comes back to doing the inner work and becoming the best version of yourself. And that's my 7 signs that a woman is thriving in her divine feminine energy. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to drop in the comments and chat. You guys know I love chatting with you girls in the comments. And I really hope this video helped with whatever journey that you're on to become your best self. I love you so much, Miss Girl. And remember, being soft isn't weak. It's honestly our superpower. I'll see you guys next time. Love you.